Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. You may have recently seen a flip through of my completed junk journal. I have a detailed flip through. I'm going to leave a link down below if you haven't seen it. So this was a junk journal that I was using to put, to store memories and play in every single day. And now that this is complete, I needed something new to work in. So instead of making a new journal, I dug out my old art journal that I made about 5-6 years ago. I made this journal from a catalog just like this. I'm going to go into how I made it in just a little while. But first I wanted to sort of show you inside the journal and show you what I've done so far. So you can see here on the color of it. I mean, this was done 6 years ago, so it's not it's not amazing, but it's fun. So what I'm planning to do with this journal is just come in every day, once a week, whenever I feel like, and just do a little something. So because this is a large journal, you can see it's about A4, maybe tiny little bit smaller than A4. So there's actually a lot of surface to work in. And you can see here I've got all sorts of different sections. This is from a magazine, and I've got some buttons here. I've got some thread over here, some kind of a rope type of a thing, and all sorts of different things, stamping, and this was all done on different days. Now, most of this journal is not finished, so this isn't going to take too long. I've got some magazine images that I really love. I love these colors. It's so beautiful, the pinks and the greens. Here's a little flower, a paper flower. This was a card that I made. This is all painstakingly cut by hand, all of these petals and all of this. And this was made when I first started crafting, so you can see I was using God knows what glue, and it's left all these ridges. So there's lots of space that I can work in there. And then over here, you can see all of these coffee stains from I was using a cup. And then, just random things. I might have seen this in a craft magazine. I was just trying out this technique. Over here, have a look at this. I don't know if you can see this stain here. That's from double-sided tape. Okay, so if you watch my channel, you know that I don't use double-sided tape. And this is why. But have a look at this. So in my eyes, this obviously completely ruins the book. I got this maybe 4 years ago. So, and this has come up a year later, maybe, let's say 2 years. Okay, 2 years after I was gifted this book. This happened to it. So I don't use double-sided tape because of that, because it completely ruins everything, in my eyes anyway. So it will either bleed through like this, or it will completely lose its stickiness, and then everything will be coming up. Okay, moving along. So over here, I was just playing around with bits and pieces. I was making some type of a card thing here. This, I have a tutorial on textured paper. You can see I used feather in here and petals and all sorts of stuff. So I will link this video down below. And then over here, some flowers. So lots of, all of these sections can be completely separate sections. So I can do completely different things. This here is stitching on paper. I did this on a tutorial as well. I'll link it down below. So you can actually write and you can draw pictures and stitch, and it looks great, I think. So you can see here on this page, there's all these different sections and it's broken up. This is what I really enjoy about this journal. So I can come in and journal on just one section a day, for example. This here is a pocket, and that's also from making that faux handmade paper, that video. And then I've got some chain over here on the side. I also have a video on making these paper flowers. I'll link that down below. Over here, I was just playing around with some paper flowers as well. These are purchased flowers. I know you can't see, but this is all hand stitched in here. This lace over the top. So you can see the stitching on this side. And I think it adds to the character of the page. This is a pocket over here. And then, I was just doing, I just had this somewhere and I thought I'm going to put it in my journal. So there it is. And then I can do all sorts of stuff there. And then here as well. These are some flowers that I drew and colored with some Sharpies. You can see they're sort of sticking up because I was using that foam tape Over here is a sticker sheet, a used sticker sheets. I thought these will be cool to embellish it in some way. And over here is just a little scrappy tag with some fabrics, an image and some papers. I only did this just the other day. And then you can see here all sorts of like different things I was playing around with. Now this is probably my favorite page because I think this was done during a tutorial. I think it was Marry Me Small Art on drawing these flowers because I can't draw. And this is tea bags and tea, actual tea underneath, you can see. I don't know if you can see, there's like all this tea under there. So I think that looks quite cool. That was one day of fun right there. Here is a little pocket there. This is an image from a magazine that I just happened to like. I wanted to have it in my journal, and then maybe I can do something around, or I don't know. We'll see. Over here is my poor attempt at drawing. I can't draw, so, you know, I can give it a go. Why not? So this is supposed to, it's not finished. It's supposed to represent my word of the year, and which was last year, I think. And then this is the seasons: summer, autumn, winter, spring. So, you know, anyway, I need to come back to that to finish it. And then this is the last page that I haven't done anything on, and this is the back page. All right, so the way that I made this journal, if you haven't guessed already, you can see best at the back here. I took my catalog, okay, just like this, and I took paper. Any type of paper that I could find. Book pages and music sheets. This is also from books. So all sorts of, you know, book paper, and then some random papers and offcuts and more book pages and some colored pages and whatever I could find. Any paper will do. And then I started covering the pages, and you can see. So you can see this is one book page. So I made sure to overlap the edges. So all of the edges, most of the edges where I could, I overlapped. So that gives me sturdiness. But you can see some places it's not possible to overlap every single section, right? So you can see here this isn't overlapped. So over time it's given me quite a lot of thickness as opposed to how it was before. And it's also given me sturdiness to those pages. So I can paint on here, you know, add glue and stuff. It's not going to warp my pages, but truth be told, the pages are already warped because when I was gluing these pages down, I was using a mixture of PVA glue, which is just cheap white school glue that I mixed with water so I can easily apply the glue. And I have to admit, the process of doing this is a very long one. It's very calming to do it. It's a fun thing to do while you're watching some YouTube videos or Netflix shows or whatever. So another thing I made sure to do, the middle here is always one page. So that way I'm protecting the middle. So you can see here, one page over the middle, you know. And sometimes, like over here, there will either be cracks like this, like here, or as in the case of this page, I made the crack deliberately myself because the page wasn't opening. But it's still, I still have reinforcement from, like, for example, you know, over here, over here, over here. You know what I mean? So you can see this is cracked over here, but it's protected over here. I hope I'm making sense. Let me know. If you need me to do a tutorial, I'm not going to do this whole thing because that would take, this really took a long time. But I can do maybe one full page, for example, but I don't think I have to. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. So what I thought I could do today is, and this is one of my boxes of scraps. So as I'm working on projects, I'll just throw things in here like leftover pieces, right? And then I end up with a box full of God knows what's in here. So I thought maybe for today's video, what I sometimes do when I'm stuck in a rut or I'm not sure exactly what I want to create, I will blindly pull things out of here. I will say to myself, okay, pull 10 things out and then create something with those 10 things. So I thought it would be fun to do something like that today on video. I'm going to pull 10 things out. I'm going to sort of look away and then just pull things out. Okay, so here are my things. I may have pulled out more than 10, but that's okay. There's no craft patrol police here. I'm just looking at what I've got over here. I definitely pulled out more than 10 things, but this is pretty fun. So I'm going to make something with this that I can add to my journal. I'm going to speed up the process and then I'll be back to chat with you. All right. So sometimes when I do these sessions, I'll put on a timer for say 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then I will pull out 10 things from a box, and then I will just randomly make stuff with no reason. I mean, like when I'm making stuff and pulling stuff out, like why did I do this tag with this bit sticking out, right? No reason. I didn't think about it, I just did it. So this is a good way to sort of practice being creative and maybe getting some new ideas, you know, as you're working or exercising the creativity muscle, right? And when you are confined in with just a few select items, this quote just came to me. I want to show you. I practice what I preach. When you limit yourself, you are forced to think outside the box and will therefore come up with creative solutions. So when it comes to what we're doing here, when I pull out 10 items, I look at my items and I say, okay, so I had this piece, I want to make a tag. What should I do on the tag? Instead of going and rummaging through my ephemera, looking for the perfect stamp or sticker, or because there are endless possibilities on what can go on a tag. Instead of wasting time trying to find the perfect thing to put on my tag, I only have these select things, and then I could have done this, like I could have put fabric on my tag, or I could have done this. You know what I mean? So when you have a small amount of items that you're allowed to work with, then you just work and it's quicker, I guess. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I made a little something, and of course, you know, my mind went to making a little journal type thing right away, but that's okay. I didn't use all of the things. I didn't use this. I'm sure I will find some use for this, and I didn't use it. It doesn't really matter because I had a little bit more than 10 items, but you know, I didn't use everything, even though this looks really cool with this little journal. Maybe layer some of this lace. All right, so I've made this. Now I want to pop it into my art journal. Let me just tell you that if you think that this will help you get rid of all of these bits and pieces, you are wrong, because you're always creating more bits and pieces. And I do have a video coming on using little offcuts and stuff, so that will be fun. Just to quickly show you what I've done. So I've pulled the pages that were available to me, and instantly my mind went to making a journal. So I put the pages together, sewn right through the middle, which is easy because it's quite thin. There's only 3 pages. And I made this into a pocket. So a pocket here and a pocket here, and just glued down some random pieces of paper that were available to me. And then on the inside, I just did this tag that you have seen, and that's it. So there's some pockets here at the back as well. But I'm going to leave it as it is now. I can come back to it later as I'm working in my art journal and add things to it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this a little bit raggedy. I'm not even going to cut these strings off because it's a messy one. And now I want to find a spot for it. So I could maybe clip it in here, but that's not ideal. I do remember that I've had some pockets in here. There's one here, but I'm not going to put it in there. Here's a pocket. So I give myself permission to do in my journal whatever I want to do with my journal. Sometimes I'll come in and I'll doodle something, or, you know, just glue stuff down like you've seen, you know, here. A whole page is just the image here. On this page, I've just spent you know, a few minutes making this, put it in, and it just is fun to look through and then find things in pockets. And then maybe, you know, I can do some writing in here or putting more things in. Ever since I've started doing this practice of 15 minutes crafting with, you know, 10 items that I pull out of a box, that kind of thing, I haven't been in a rut. So I haven't been in a rut for a little while. And I do also have another system. I have a jar system. See? When stuck. So maybe I can talk about that if you're interested, maybe in another video. But I try to do everything that I can to help myself. So when I'm going through periods of low creativity or feeling like I'm stuck in a rut or overwhelmed, when you've got too many ideas and too many things coming to you, then you can ground yourself with this kind of practice. So this was very healing for me, because as I've made this, I was only present here. I wasn't thinking about anything else going on in my life. Often I will, you know, watch videos maybe or listen to music, which is quite nice. So anyway, that's the first thing. Let me know if you guys want to see this type of thing in the future, if you want me to make videos like this where I just work in a journal and just do something random that I don't, like today, I didn't really know what I'm going to do. In any case, I hope that you feel a spark of inspiration. I hope that this video has done that for you. That was my goal, really, just to make you feel inspired. Let me know if you would like me to do perhaps a page of this on how, you know, I add different papers to make the art journal like this. And if you have any other questions, comments, anything, just you know, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!